You won't hear trumpets. There won't be a heavenly countdown or a supernatural alarm telling you now is the time. What comes before the rapture isn't a spectacle, it's silence, a choice that's being made while you go about your routine, watch a video, sip your coffee. The silent choice that precedes the rapture is happening now, and hardly anyone notices, because it doesn't shout, it whispers. It's counterintuitive, but real. The separation between those who will go and those who will stay doesn't begin with unbelief or heresy. It begins with inattention. It's not about those who say, "Lord, Lord," but about those who hear the hidden call and respond with quiet obedience. While the world seeks visible signs, heaven is weighing invisible responses. And this silent choice is sealing eternal destinies through actions so small they might seem insignificant. What few understand is that the silent choice that precedes the rapture is decided in hidden details, unseen gestures, renunciations that receive no applause. It's a spiritual call disguised in ordinary life. While most are waiting for something spectacular, heaven is tuned into the subtle movements of the heart, the kind only God can see, yet that determine everything. If this sounds strange, uncomfortable, or even alarming, maybe it's because you're in the middle of that decision right now. And in this video, you're going to understand how this invisible but very real choice is shaping your destiny, and what to do so you're not caught off guard. Most people imagine God's judgment as something grand, with lightning and thunder. But the reality is much more subtle. Before any visible separation occurs, a silent examination is taking place, where God is observing what no one else can see. It's not about speeches or appearances, but about that secret response to the Spirit that rises from within. It's like a father who knows his child just by the look in their eyes. He sees every inclination, every disguised refusal, every echo in the spirit that few can hear. And this, my friend, is happening right now in the ordinary moments of your routine. While some wait for God to move on big stages, He is revealing Himself in the quiet choices you make without an audience. Those decisions made in the silence of your room, in the middle of a whispered prayer, or even in a conflict where you choose to forgive without applause. Psalm 139, 1-2 makes it clear, "You have searched me, Lord, and you know me." And this isn't poetic metaphor, it's the reality we're living in. If you felt a quiet discomfort, an unexplainable urgency, it might be the Spirit whispering something that those around you can't even detect. It's ironic that in the age of social media, where everything is posted and shared, what weighs most in heaven are invisible actions that help you offer without broadcasting it, the content you choose not to consume, the apology no one asked for. All of it carries immense spiritual weight. God is watching for those who don't just want to appear faithful, but who are faithful when no one is watching. That's where true faith reveals itself, in the obedience that gets no applause. And maybe that's exactly why so many don't realize what's at stake, because they're expecting trumpets, when in reality, everything is being decided by internal attitudes. It might seem small, insignificant even, but these micro-responses to the Spirit are shaping eternal destinies, and most, distracted, don't even notice. But why is it that so few recognize this reality? It's easy to say, you believe in the rapture. What's hard is to live like you're packed and ready, with a heart detached from this world. The real choice God is expecting isn't about having the right speech. It's about a daily surrender that doesn't attract attention. It's about giving up something legitimate because the Spirit quietly asked you to. It's about staying vigilant when no one is watching and obeying without any recognition. This isn't learned in seminary. It's revealed in practice in a closed room through a whispered yes, spoken between tears and doubts. Jesus spoke of the wise virgins who took oil with them, discreetly, without making a scene. That oil in practice represents silent preparation. It's like that believer who, even without a church title, prays faithfully, fasts in secret, and stays sensitive to the Spirit's direction. They're not in the spotlight, but they carry oil. And nowadays, having oil makes you seem strange, radical, even extreme. But in the end, it'll be those with oil who have light when the bridegroom arrives. There are many people who have scripture memorized, but have a dry soul. They can quote verses flawlessly, but can't forgive their neighbor. Heaven isn't paying attention to what you say. It's weighing what you surrender. And what's curious is that surrender isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's quitting a hidden addiction, changing a habit that's been distancing you from God, or simply stopping the resistance to that persistent inner call pulling you closer. So, if true surrender is silent, how can we recognize those who are really responding? That question opens up something even more urgent. Why do so few realize this is already happening? Here's the hard truth. We live in a generation that confuses noise with spirituality. Emotional hype has become a substitute for God's presence, and inner silence has been traded for likes and packed schedules. But what truly defines vigilance is consistency, that quiet steadiness that few can maintain. It's easy to feel moved in a fiery worship service, but hard to stay sensitive to the Spirit on an ordinary Monday, stuck in traffic, or faced with subtle temptation. And that's where many are quietly drifting away without even realizing it. Deception doesn't start with rebellion. It starts with distraction, routine religiosity, spiritual tasks done on autopilot, a prayer life filled with repetition, but no real connection. Add to that all the justifiable distractions, overworking, harmless entertainment, life's busyness. And before you know it, your heart is far from God, even while your body is still in church. It's a slow drift, like an ember quietly fading out. The lack of intimacy with God becomes comfortable. And the danger is that in this state, people don't even realize they've already made their choice. Through omission. It's like heaven is shouting in whispers, but the ears are full of noise. Many think they're standing firm, but they've already fallen asleep spiritually. And the most alarming part is this: the rapture is being decided right now, in this very moment, and those who are distracted don't even know they've already been filtered out by failing to recognize the Spirit's subtle nudges. It's not about looking wrong in human eyes, but about not being sensitive in God's. And that sensitivity doesn't appear out of nowhere. It's built through tiny choices that seem trivial, but are absolutely decisive. So when we begin to look through that lens, the next question becomes crucial. Where exactly are these choices being made? What kind of details is God observing to weigh these unseen responses? People are mistaken if they think the decision for the rapture will be made during some epic service or emotional moment. It's happening right now, when you choose not to feed that old resentment, even though you feel justified. It's in the moment when the Spirit gently prompts you to turn off something perfectly acceptable, a movie, a song, a conversation, and you obey. It seems like a small thing, but in the spiritual realm, each of these gestures is a loud, silent cry of surrender. And that's exactly what heaven is watching closely. Luke 21:36 says, "Be always on the watch and pray." It sounds beautiful in theory, but it's much more challenging in practice. To watch at all times means holding your tongue when you want to explode. It means stepping out of your room to apologize to your spouse, even when you feel they're the one at fault. It's giving when no one expects you to, refusing what everyone else accepts, keeping your eyes steady even when everything around invites distraction. These are stageless actions, yet they shake invisible kingdoms. God isn't pointing to a clear line between saved and lost, but rather highlighting the daily walk that shows who's really listening. And that's why these choices seem small, because they're disguised in everyday life. They don't come with goosebumps or dramatic revelations, but with a quiet inner whisper saying, "This isn't right." The sensitive heart hears it. The distracted heart ignores it. And both, without realizing, are answering a call that's determining everything. So the deeper question begins to surface. How can you know if you've already responded or not to this call? What truly sets apart those who are prepared, even when it doesn't look like it? It's curious how people look for outward signs to tell if someone is spiritually ready. But true preparation doesn't come with a sign on your forehead saying, "I am holy." It shows up as a holy weight in your spirit, a restlessness you can't explain. But that changes everything. You start to feel out of place in environments that once felt normal. That joke you used to laugh at, now it unsettles you. That TV show you always watched, now it makes you uncomfortable in ways you didn't expect. This is the kind of transformation that doesn't need a banner. It's like Noah, who began building an ark without seeing a single drop of rain, just because he heard something no one else did. While everyone else carried on with life as usual, he already felt the warning in his soul. The same is happening today. Those who are sensitive can feel a separation beginning in their hearts. They don't need outward proof. The call is already alive inside them. It's as if the world is losing its flavor and heaven is starting to pull with invisible gravity. And that shift brings with it a sensitivity that begins to reshape even the smallest habits. The person starts choosing their words more carefully, avoiding pointless conversations, seeking alone time with God without anyone having to tell them. The rejection of worldliness becomes natural, not out of religious pressure, but genuine repulsion. Reading the Bible stops feeling like a chore and becomes nourishment. Worshipping in secret becomes joy. These are quiet signs, but they thunder in heaven. Maybe you've been feeling this and didn't know how to explain it. Maybe you're right there, disconnected from the system, questioning what once felt normal. And if that's your case, there's something even deeper that needs to be understood. Something that's happening right now, without fanfare, but with eternal weight. Few people realize this, but heaven isn't waiting for you to finish your spiritual process before evaluating you. The choice is being made right now while you're watching this content. There won't be trumpets or a light from heaven declaring, "This is the moment to decide." The decision is unfolding within, silently, as you either choose to obey or not. That gentle prompting from the Spirit. It's a serene urgency, but it's very real, and it won't wait for anyone. It's sobering to think that many will be left behind, not because they denied the faith, but because they ignored the quiet call to obedience, because they were almost there, but never actually crossed the line, because they assumed they had more time, when in fact, the countdown had already started. It's like a final exam that never announces its date. You're being evaluated by your daily actions, and what weighs most isn't what you post, It's what you do when no one's watching. This choice, though deeply personal, has eternal consequences. It's a response you don't give with your mouth, but with actions that only heaven sees. And here's the most powerful part. God isn't expecting perfection, but sincerity. The rapture won't be a surprise to those who've been hearing heaven's whisper and answering it with quiet obedience. Yes, he will come like a thief, but only for those who are asleep. Those who live alert, even in silence, are already preparing with every obedient step they take. So now that this decision is already in motion, the real question is, what is heaven seeing in you? Because the choice is already being made. And the question that echoes is, what has your answer been? Did you notice it? The choice isn't about what you say. It's about what you surrender. It's not about waiting for signs. It's about responding to the whisper. While many are standing still, waiting for something extraordinary, heaven has its eyes fixed on your most silent actions. Don't be fooled. What you're ignoring today might be exactly what God is using to test you. What you silently refuse might be your chance to be among those who are taken. Now, with everything you've heard, let me ask you, what has your response been? Have you been obeying in the small areas? Or are you putting off what you